Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well today. I'm so excited to be here with you all for this special fireside chat with GS Kumar. And we will be diving into some interesting discussion, and I'm sure we'll all walk away with valuable takeaways. Before we begin, I just want to thank each one of you for being here and for making this event possible. This is a very great opportunity to connect, learn, and engage with some incredible thoughts and ideas. So feel free to get comfortable and make the most of it. And please drop in your questions in the chat we will take at the end of the session. Let me welcome Mr. G.S. Kumar. We are thrilled to welcome G.S. Kumar, a Karnataka Bhushan Award winning LinkedIn and recruitment trainer, to this special Herky session. With over 2 decades of experience and in corporate training, GS has empowered 9,000 plus professionals, including mid career women, job seekers, and entrepreneurs, through his expert workshops on LinkedIn, resume building, and career reinvention. Today, we dive into his journey and tap into his powerful strategies to help women navigate job searches, career breaks, and mid career transitions with confidence. GS Kumar, welcome to Herky, and thank you for confirming for this session in such a short period of time. Thank you so much for that.
First and foremost, huge congratulations for the Herky community which you have built only for the women, because there are a lot of people who struggle and wondering where to go and ask for help. So I think this exclusive community built by you is helping a lot of people who are in that particular space and help them elevating into various dimensions. So congratulations and thanks so much for inviting me into this community wherein I can share a lot of detailed insights, hoping for the best. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I would like to start with, you have coached so many professionals. So what drew you to this space, especially supporting mid-career journeys?
My background is into recruitment. So when I completed my master's in business administration, I started my career as an IT recruiter in an executive search firm. So wherein I learned the grounding of recruitment, IT, non-IT, leadership hiring. So first 10 years, my grounding is thoroughly into 15 different industries hiring, where I started from fresher hiring to CEO hiring. So there, my understanding towards job market, hiring market, talking to a lot of multi-dimensional people, uh, got a great learning of those kind of dimensions, because only in sales and recruitment you will get to know learning every single day. Okay,
Yes.
so comparing to the other domains, so I loved and enjoyed it, and after that I moved to corporate recruitment space in Bangalore with Wipro and Manipal Upgrade in the leadership hiring space, wherein I was the panel member of leadership hiring, where we are selecting people for various other verticals. So 2016, I started my own agency, wherein we do a job hunt done for you service, especially for mid-career and senior level, because I think that's where a lot of struggles are happening, because freshers, of course, they will apply and get it, but especially mid-career and leadership doesn't work in the advertised market, where they keep on applying and then wondering what happens. So we created a niche for the non-advertised job market, wherein about 70% is headhunting has been done to recruit people. Because as a recruiter, I understand how I recruit people. So I thought, okay, this is the kind of service which we have to provide for the mid-career and leadership, wherein they are struggling to get a job change or interview calls, all that. So that's a space we've started, and we started multiple verticals of corporate training for LinkedIn, for salespeople, recruiters, and we also work with a lot of MSMEs and startups who want a high ticket clients from LinkedIn. So these are the multi vertical we are into. But what I love to do is consulting with mid career and leadership, because they're already skilled people. A little strategy change is required. So
Yes.
that's where we started and going on successfully. As you said, 9,000 job seekers we have
Yes.
helped so far and growing further. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Like thinking, as you said, the freshers, it's easy for them to search in the job market, because I had also worked in the recruitment field for a few years, and I have seen that for the mid career,
Mm.
it's really challenging for them.
Correct.
So, what common challenges do you see women professionals face when returning to work or looking to pivot, to shift their career or in looking in the different domain also?
So especially women, they have to take career breaks because multiple life challenges and needs. So obviously, they should be active in terms of LinkedIn platform, because LinkedIn values, consistency, value-driven elements, and whoever is consistent and posting on a regular basis, they come in the top search list, because it's a people search platform. Okay, it's not a Facebook, or it is not a uh, platform like Naukri where we apply only for jobs. The understanding towards LinkedIn is it's purely a business networking platform where we have to network with professionals. Okay, so it is like we are going for a global summit. Okay, offline summit. So how we will be dressing up? That is the first thing which we will think of. Okay, so think this LinkedIn as a global summit where you're visiting your space, and you are meeting a like-minded people or a little above than you, wherein you can find opportunities with them. So how will you dress up? So in an offline meeting, you will have a choice of attire by choosing blazer if at all it is men, and even women also come with a lot of blazer and other stuff. Why? Because the kind of people you are meeting is professionals, CEOs, decision makers, wherein you will have to try and collaborate for opportunities. So think LinkedIn as if it's a online global summit where you're visiting. So obviously your profile should be at a very higher status, wherein people, when you're sending connection requests, they should be in a position to accept. That's the first thing to do. Okay.
Wow, that's
And
a good perspective for LinkedIn.
yeah, so then when so I'll relate or translate to how we behave in a global summit when we are doing offline. So first thing is choice of attire. Second thing is whom you are meeting. Like there will be 100 people in summit. Okay. So the people whom we will be meeting is the like-minded industries, like-minded domain, wherein we relate to and see a possible collaboration. So that is the second step, where when we are in LinkedIn, we'll have to identify the right domain people and industry people, wherein we can see a right set of language engagement, all that. So to work on that, you will have to post some micro insight content belonging to your domain so that people get attracted to it. Okay, so if at all I have to talk to her key community, if I post like how to, what are the 3 steps coming back to workforce, especially for career break women. Now, her key community people can relate to it because they are looking for that kind of information, right? So look for people whom you are targeting and accordingly post a lot of micro insights so that you belong to a one particular community, so that people open your profile, see you, and then send connection request. When instead of you sending connection requests, they will start sending connection requests because you're speaking the same language. Number one. Okay. Number two, intentional networking is required. Okay. Now, what is intentional networking? There are a lot of collaborative articles which is getting published. Okay, so there are a lot of questions which is asked in the analytics section where each domain comes with its own nuances. So go and post your answers like Quora, which we did, last decade. Post your opinions so that you meet a lot of very potential people there, because whomever they are posting on collaborative articles is at a higher status. So creating visibility on that space is very crucial and vital and non-negotiable. So those elements you can take up, and don't treat LinkedIn as Facebook wherein you post and ghost. Okay, so be consistent. 2 3 posting in a week is okay, not even regular. Okay, not even daily. 2 3 posts in a week is absolutely okay as long as it's a value driven post. And stay for some time, do networking about at least 1 hour. You stay there and start connecting with people, commenting with people, all that you'll have to do. And come with some unique reach out programs. Like LinkedIn enables audio messaging, video messaging. Instead of sending 2 lines of information, I would like to connect with you kind of thing. Instead of that, you can send some voice note or a video note so that it appears very, very unique. So, little uniqueness, consistency, value driven post will make a lot of differentiation when we are coming back to workforce, because a lot of companies are ready to hire people. And especially the plus point for people who are under career break is they are immediate joiners. Okay. So now, as a hiring manager, as a recruiter, you love people who are immediate joiners, right? So those kind of element is always a plus. But our positioning needs to be at a very higher status so that we appear as a subject matter expert rather than a desperate job seeker. Okay. So that's a crux of the thing which I wanted to share.
Wow, you have shared many things, and I was making a note of it. And I completely agree with you. And I, especially when I talk to creators, also, I say, whichever platform you are, you have to be consistent. Make 2 to 3 posts in a week and connect with the users. Like in
Hmm.
Herky is a platform where we can connect with each other through sessions on the platform. So
Hmm.
you can build your own network. Thank you so much for sharing that. So one another for LinkedIn also I want to ask, what's one underrated LinkedIn feature that can make a big difference to job seekers?
Lot of people, they are not checking the search appearances, I would say. Okay, so
Okay.
if you go below your LinkedIn heading, there is analytics which is always showing, where it shows your profile views, impressions and search appearances, right?
Yes.
So LinkedIn publishes your analytics every Thursday. That means tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow if you open
Today.
and check, today is Wednesday, right?
Today is Thursday.
Oh, today's this. Okay. I- I'm in a different space altogether. Okay. So today, if you check, you get your analytics of last week, wherein what happened to your profile, it will display. Okay. How many people opened your profile, how many impressions you got for your post, and for which title you've been searched for. That's a very, very crucial thing. Wherein you can understand from which titles your profile is getting searched for. Okay. Now, based on that understanding, you can understand whether HR and recruiters are searching or some other sales people are searching. Okay. If there is a huge differentiation of getting discovered by HR or getting discovered by other designation, then it's a red flag, because we are not even discoverable by the HRs. They are already searching in the platform for somebody like you, but you are not available because of your profile, optimized profile. So that element is very, very crucial, wherein we'll have to keep checking and monitoring what is happening to your our profile, wherein this level of consistency, the right set of keywords has to be made. Because even if you mention in Google with some designations and all that, your LinkedIn profiles comes in the first topmost, because LinkedIn algorithm is very, very supportive to Google algorithm. Okay. Or even for that matter, if you do a people search or a name search, their LinkedIn profile comes in the top, because as recruiters and hiring manager, we have always discovered people by their name. Okay, so when we open their profile, that's where the trust building happens, because based on your profile, I'll take my own decisions on how I should take it up forward. So that element is very underrated, I would say, wherein a lot of people are not even aware that this element has to be cross-checked. Okay, and then they keep on randomly working, randomly spending a lot of time, and still say, I'm not getting any response on LinkedIn. Okay, so that's very, very vital. Maybe you can cross check. Second, the little elevated element is social selling index, which we call it, wherein if you Google social selling index, you'll get your LinkedIn score. Okay, wherein this 4 factors of your LinkedIn will be popped up. So I would suggest 70 out of 100 is the right score. If at all, you have to rank in the first page of search results, because like you, there will be thousands of Java developer, thousands of DevOps profile, multiple things. But how you rank in the first page is based on your social selling index score. So this two elements is something, a vital element where we'll have to cross check and then keep working towards that.
Wow, that's really great insight. The social selling index, I didn't know about that. Thank you so much for sharing that. So coming, you also, work on the resumes also. What catches a recruiter's eye in the first 10 seconds of looking at a resume?
Okay, I'll put it little oriented manner. So I'll come from a recruiter's perspective on how things, entire hiring thing, how it happens. I'll tell you so that we will have a detailed
Yes.
answer. So if you talk about resume, there are three dimension of views towards it. Okay, three dimension of audience also, I would say. The first audience is a recruiter who doesn't know your domain or industry. Okay, he's a common man who just trying to understand from the JD perspective what is required for a hiring manager. He's trying to scan things. He's not ready. He's trying to scan things. Okay, for him, what will be appealing is your numbers. Only numbers he will understand. If you say I have done Java, Eclipse, website development, machine learning with huge stakeholder management, he will not understand anything. Right. But if you say I have saved the cost 30%, okay, or I've been instrumental in say creating an automated mechanism where it saved 50% of time, then a recruiter will understand. So number oriented thing is the first thing which we'll have to fix in our CV. Number one. The second dimension is the hiring manager who knows about the project. Okay. Now his viewpoint towards your resume is completely different in terms of relevance. Okay, so because he knows about the project, but he could have not translated the right elements in the job description, because whatever I'm thinking, I cannot translate into words as a job description. Okay, so job description is always 50-50% originally. Okay, so that is why I always say don't deny any JD just because you read all the things and then think and assume JD is with the JD only you have to go. No, even if you're 50% match, go and apply. Okay, so talking about hiring manager's perspective, he will look more into the relevance part on how this person can contribute to my project. Okay, is he has a relevant experience in terms of his past careers, job task, achievements. Okay, so as a hiring manager, I am hiring you because you can create impact, whatever achievements you have done in the past. Okay, I'm not bothered about your certification. I'm not bothered about your job roles which you have done in the past. I can only see what you made in the last project, which significantly you have improved some performance, productivity. Okay. Now I want to repeat the same thing for my organization and my project. Simple. Okay. So I will look more into achievements part as a hiring manager. Now the third dimension is very, very crucial because I would say it's a HR or an employer who's providing you a salary. Okay, now his dimension is completely different because the hiring manager could have shortlisted 4 or 5 people at same level. Okay, now he cannot finalize one. He has to pass on to the HR or an employer because employer are only providing the CTC and salary. Now, for the as an employer, if I'm providing some CTC, I would like to understand what is the value you are bringing to that particular CTC. Okay, it is like buying a product, right? So, if you are a bundle of benefits to me, I'll buy. Okay, if you are a person who can sit for a long time, I'll buy, because I'm comparing 4 different profiles like you. Okay, you are also project manager, the other 4 people is also project manager. So how will I select somebody who can bring a lot of value additions? Okay, so this is a value addition we have to create in the resume apart from the job task. I'm not buying you for your job task, I'm buying you for your value addition. Okay, so that means how much your network, your face value is there. Okay, is there something I can utilize from you? You have to showcase that. Okay, second thing is especially your continuous learning attitude. Are you somebody who's learning or joining a course every single year? Because as you know, every year there is a lot of improvements are going on in the jobs, skills, technology, everything. So are you somebody who are adopting and learning new things, or you keep complaining, okay, I know only this, I want only job for this? Okay, so we cannot sell old responsibilities and old skills for a new job. As simple as that. Okay, new job is requiring new skills, advanced skills, not your old skills. So obviously, I want somebody who's continuous learning. I don't have to tell you go and learn new things. Okay, you should be somebody proactive. Oh, okay, there is some new AI technologies. There is something new data analytics. I should learn this. Okay, what is your behavior towards learning is what something I will be looking at it. Okay. Third thing is especially on the stakeholder management, people management. Are you somebody who has high networking on a regular basis in online events or offline events, where you know a lot of people? Okay, so especially when you are a manager and above position, how you execute things with people matters a lot rather than you executing. Okay. So if you are an individual contributor, it is absolutely fine. But when you're growing assistant manager, team lead, manager, and above, you should have a lot of contacts externally where you can connect with them and bring a lot of values to the organization. Okay. So if that element is not there, even see, I'm talking even for the IT profiles, what are all vendors you know, what are all communities you know, wherein you can bring a lot of people. That's the element I will check. So if at all you are adding these kind of elements in your resume, you will be completely outshining all other competitors. Okay, because the aspect in terms of hiring is you don't know who is your competitor. Okay, the disadvantage in the entire hiring from the candidate perspective is something you don't know who's the competitor, who is attending interviews after you or before you. So it is very, very crucial for us to bring a lot of value at the first stage itself so that there is no competition and you outshine the entire model. So the final aspect I would like to tell you is in CV, don't tell all the stories. Okay, so it should be like a teaser or trailer wherein you have to open only with the meeting with the hiring manager. That means interview. Okay, the CV should be always a triggering factor which should enable for an interview. Okay, because if you tell all the story, the assumptions will pop up. Oh, okay, first company is this, second company is this. Without speaking to you, they will assume their own stories, which may not be true. Okay, but if you are giving minimalistic information with the numbers, whatever impact you have created, they should feel that I should meet this person and ask more questions. That should be the CV rather than telling first company, second company. Even I have met a CEO's profile where it starts from 10th, 12th, all that, which is not relevant for a CEO, right? So, whichever is more relevant for enabling an interview, that is the kind of CV which will be more successful rather than having honestly telling everything. Honesty is not required. It's a skill match which is happening. Okay, so try to see meeting that interview is happening or not. That's the only success ratio which we can see in the resume part.
That's very insightful, I would say. Like we can talk for hours and hours on that. So you are also known for recruiter hacks, right? So
Yeah.
what are your top 2 to 3 recruiter hacks or tools every job seeker should know?
See, recruiters, when we train recruiters, like I work with Randstad, Questcore, First Meridian on a regular basis, training the recruiters. What happens, the challenges I would tell you right now, because recruiters, as you know, they will get a half-baked information about the job description. Okay, so a lot of recruiters may not have the nuances to decode the JD. Okay, so the first element which we decode the JD is RPD framework, which we call it required, preferred, and desired skills, which we have to find in a JD and understand how we source. Now, you'll have to understand the fact that they may not understand what are the identical designation for the same profile. Okay, you will call yourself as a procurement manager, but the JD will talk about hiring a purchase manager. Okay, foundation remains the same, but if the recruiter doesn't know what is if procurement manager is different and purchase manager is different, if he has that kind of understanding, then we are missing out the opportunities.
Yes.
Okay, so obviously, as a candidate, think like a recruiter on how what kind of language he will be using to source my profile. Okay, so see, I'm obviously positioning myself as a job hunt coach, but nobody will search for job hunt coach. Okay, why? So they will search resume writer, executive resume writer, okay, and corporate trainer, LinkedIn trainer. This is what they will search. Okay. Now I have to position myself and give a lot of social proofing that I'm capable enough that I can deliver value to your what is that you're looking for. Now that is the element we will have to translate as a candidate, that how a recruiter will source me. Okay, so write write 10 keywords about you without your name and try to search in Google whether your profile is getting clicked or not. I mean, appearing or not. That is the way you'll have to cross check. Okay, because that's how recruiter will search. So that element has to be kept on mind when we are preparing CV, Naukri, or LinkedIn, so that we are searchable. So that's the element which I wanted to share.
I'll do this 10 keywords writing without my name. I'll try
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. So how do you think AI tools are changing the way professionals approach job search and networking?
So AI tools, see, the market is divided into two, job market especially. One is the advertised job market, one is the non-advertised job market. Okay. Now the advertised market job is crowded with volume hiring, fresher hiring, entry level, all these things, wherein AI can help in automation in terms of using some tools for segregating the CVs, interview lineups, choice of salary benchmarks, all that it will automate and help a recruiter. Okay, because it's a volume game which we are talking. Okay, let's say I'm posting a BPO fresher job in Bangalore. I'll be getting 2000 profiles in a single day from all over India. Okay, now as recruiter, I cannot manually screen every candidate profile by looking at 2000 profiles. So AI can curate into different buckets, which how many profiles are from Bangalore, how many profiles from Delhi, Hyderabad. That segregation will makes me simpler element towards automating my process, because it's a huge task oriented, manual task oriented, iteration oriented job. I mean,
Yes.
recruiter's job, right? So obviously I will have to reduce my efforts in terms of finalizing a candidate, because that's my job and performance indicator. So I will use AIs in terms of repeated task, or which can translate some meaningful information. Suppose if I don't understand a JD, I will use ChatGPT or Grok or Claude to redefine it. And obviously, I will use some keywords. What are all the keywords I have to use to source my profiles? Okay. And where all the profiles are available. If not in LinkedIn, this profile is sitting where? Okay, because as a recruiter, my KRA is to submit CVs. So I cannot give an excuse, okay, this profile is not on LinkedIn. Okay, so that way, a lot of automation, curation, okay, if I have to use the word, that is happening, which is considerably reducing the time, cost, and effort of a recruiter. Where from a candidate perspective, which we have to understand is go to the non-advertised market. Okay, wherein people hunt for profiles on LinkedIn by giving some limitations, 10 plus years of experience or location criteria, certification criteria. That's how headhunting happens. Okay, so wherein our designation should be synonymical. Okay, if you're a purchase manager, add keywords like procurement manager, sourcing manager, vendor manager, because that's how I will source a profile. So 70%, 80% market is even more 10 times better than the advertised market. Okay, and as you also know, like no JD is 100% JD, and no candidate is 100% candidate. Correct. There is no existence of that kind of thing. So obviously, a meeting has to happen with the hiring manager and candidate, so that they find some synchronization, some matching elements, so that they can onboard a candidate for a project. If that has to happen, I cannot rely only on the AI and automation tools, which is more towards bucketing things into different elements, which will not work in the mid-career and leadership roles, because every leadership profile is completely unique from a different CEO.
Angle.
Okay, so that way, still that manual element is happening from assistant manager to CXO jobs. So obviously, creating visibility on our LinkedIn platform, showcasing our thought leader elements, that is more crucial if I have to be headhunted. Because the beauty of LinkedIn is it is not used only by recruiters, it is also used by board of directors, CEOs, hiring managers. Okay. There are a lot of instances where board of directors and CEO picks up a profile and pass it on to HR and say, I want this candidate line up for interview. Okay. So that way, only if you showcase your candidature, your passion towards that particular skill, then as a employer, I will be impressed by your passion, skill set, and other things. And I feel that, okay, this is the right person for our project. Okay, rather than only going with the resume, showing desperateness, that is all will never work, even if you put 100 times of your efforts.
True. Completely agree with you on that because I myself a restarter
Okay,
and I've seen like how it works. You have to be consistent and work on your skills.
right.
So if you could leave our Herky members with one action step to take after this session, what would it be?
Be active. I mean, positioning is matters a lot because see, even for the business owners, we tell a lot about the positioning because they don't know how to position themselves. Because if you see a business owner selling one particular product, there are 100 people who are already selling.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how do you differentiate and sell it to the market? That is what the positioning matters, wherein you create a lot of value and tell whom you are targeting and what kind of service you do. See, I will tell a very simple example where you can translate to the market. We all know this, but we are not able to recollect and translate to that element. So, right. So there are 20 years before they started a lot of internet browsing centers, if you have seen.
Yes.
Okay. But for a common man, he may not understand what is the purpose of internet browsing center because he will say, okay, only my college, I mean, my son or daughter who is going for computer science, he might use this. Okay. But over a period of time, you could have seen a lot of signboards stating that, okay, Aadhaar card can be printed, PAN card can be printed. Okay. You can take a, printout here or what you call mobile recharge is spent and something like 10 different use cases they will mention. Okay. So for the common man, his need is addressed right now in the internet browsing center. Okay. So now he will approach the browsing center and say, okay, I need an Aadhaar card, I need a PAN card copy, or multiple other things. So what I would uh, uh, convey the message is, if you are positioning your profile on LinkedIn, use the banner section, headline, and about section with a clear indication on whom you are targeting and what results you can produce. Okay. Let's say you are a website developer. Okay, but by a common man, I may not understand what is a website developer all about. Okay, because there are lakhs and lakhs of people who's doing website developer. So as a client, how can I approach if you mention only website developer? Okay, but if you say I am a website developer who help coaches and consultants bringing a landing page for webinars, if you say that, you are talking to a very niche audience where they need you. Okay,
True.
because for coaches and consultant, landing page and webinars is a must where they keep on repeating multiple webinars, workshop. But if you are a website developer and say, I work with coaches and consultants who are continuously doing 5 webinars, 10 webinars, I help them setting up a landing page. Then I'll be interested connecting with you because you are speaking my language.
Yes.
Okay. So as a candidate, when you are speaking to your potential recruiter and hiring manager, show that value that even if you're a Java developer, what is the skill and what is the industry you're working? Okay. Tell that I'm a Java developer who develop banking websites for IBM. Okay. And I worked for 40 different modules, or I saved 30% cost by automation. Then only it will translate, right? Otherwise, I don't know what is Eclipse. I don't know what is Selenium. Okay, I don't know what is Python. I don't know as a recruiter, right? So, but if you say banking industry, I save 30% cost, then I'll be more interested. So, positioning element is very crucial because that is how you can translate your skills. Because now is a space where we are living more and more on digital space rather than offline space. Okay, every single day we are in living in digital space, if you agree, right? We
Yes.
are in LinkedIn, we are in Instagram, we are in WhatsApp. We are living half of the day in digital space. Okay, but if you don't know how to articulate your presence on this kind of spaces, you are not even existing, I would say. Okay, so people who were celebrities, we are all know online only. We
Yes.
see them in movies, television, newspaper, all this. But they appear big because they come in this kind of platforms. Okay, but for ordinary people, LinkedIn is your PR activity. Okay, where nobody stops you to project you. There is, say, I would always say, avoid doing self rejection. That's the biggest handicap, I would say. Okay, start with somewhere. You don't have to be perfect. Self rejection is something has to be avoided, and even if you do nothing, be there and post something, then you will get evolved. Okay, but I think hierarchy community is more towards a matured audience where they understand the things. Only thing is your positioning matters. Okay, so that positioning, if you give a right translation articulation to the potential audience, then opportunities are immense, I would say. Yeah.
Completely agree on that. That positioning is very, very important. And finally, what's next for you? Any workshop or offerings our members can join if you want to describe?
We always do a one-to-one counseling rather than workshops, because workshops once in a while we do, wherein we orient about LinkedIn analytics, like how I said about social selling index. There are 10 different analytics which we should know before even getting into LinkedIn. Only then your LinkedIn will be a super magnetic profile rather than um, having a profile as kind of such. So maybe a Sunday evening, 6 o'clock, I'm arranging for a LinkedIn analytics orientation webinar where, like social selling index, I'll be talking about 10 different elements of LinkedIn where they can understand how LinkedIn operates and how we can use it very, very productively. So maybe that link I can share later, so that that will help you. In my event section, you can see all my past events where we have discussed a lot about job market and multiple other. I do a lot of LinkedIn events, so you can keep participating in that LinkedIn events. And coming Sunday 6 o'clock, I'm doing that program. So whoever is interested, they can join.
Yeah. And also for our community members, GS Kumar also hosts sessions on the Herky platform also, where it redirects to their events. So you can follow him on Herky, and I've also shared his LinkedIn profile. You can follow him over there also. Anybody has any questions for GS Kumar? You can unmute yourself and ask, or you can type in the chat also. Anyone? I'll give 30 seconds. Mangla, Sashanka, Lakshmi, Shirley, any one of you? For me, it was a very insightful session. I had come to know a lot about LinkedIn and how to make my presence felt on any of these kind of platforms. Whether the like how I've got my I'm a restarter, and how I secured my job at Herky is also because being consistent on the Herky platform. So I completely understand with you, and I always tell the creators also, be consistent on any of the platforms you're there on.
So it's a gold mine, which is we are not using. I mean, the thing is
Absolutely.
already there with us, but we are
Yes.
not using it the full
Your own
potential.
capacity. Yeah.
Uh, in the workshops and webinars, I quote this example. Like I say, okay, I used Indigo to go from Koramangala to HSR. So like that is the way we are using LinkedIn, because we don't know that Indigo can bring me from Bangalore to Delhi or Bangalore
Well,
to Dubai, whatever. Okay, so
yes.
the capacity what we are using for that particular platform is very, very limited, but it is 10 times beyond our imagination. Okay,
Absolutely.
so
Completely agree on
uh,
that.
that way. So through LinkedIn only, I converted from my B2C things to B2B, wherein I got a lot of corporate training opportunities.
Yes. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And we have to have our profile also very much, updated, and to target the right audience where we want to get connected, right?
Correct. And that's why the treatment which we have to give LinkedIn is a networking treatment rather than a social media treatment.
Yes.
Okay, so social media, we post and maybe comment, we maybe like and share. Something is what we do, and we consume entertainment content there. But here it is more towards your office boardroom, where you will
Yes.
talk about key insights, new technologies, new elements. So treat this as your global office. That's what I say to my business owner clients. Okay, wherein you're not limited to geography. Okay, whatever you can sell in India, you can sell for US or Dubai for double the profit.
Yes.
Okay, so the person is the same, process is the same. Just because you are on LinkedIn, you can connect to anybody in the world. They are only a DM away. Okay,
Yes.
but as long as your profile is weak, that may not be possible. You have to have a very strong profile, because whenever you are working for a client, you should be bigger than the client.
That's the key takeaway I have taken today.
Uh, So if you're not big than your client, you will be treated as a salesperson, where they will treat you as a salesperson.
True, true. Thank you once again for being on the session and being for this very insightful fireside chat. Thank you so much for being. And I would request you to also you are hosting sessions on the Herky platform, and I'm sure you'll be continue doing that. And it will motivate our community members, with the kind of sessions you've been hosting on the platform. Thank you so much for being for today on the session. Thank you.
I mean, it's a whole lot of pleasure and honor, because you have created the community for women, but you're also allowing people like me who can
Yeah,
join
we
and
call you
share their
as a
values.
for her user. We call
Ha, ha, ha.
all our main men allies as a for her user who is supporting the women community on the Herky platform. And it's
Well,
like I'm very much privileged to have you on this session, to having my like fireside starting with you. And thank you so much for that.
pleasure. Always helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you everybody for joining in. Thank you. Have a lovely day.